So, hi everybody. I'm Nina. I'm actually from the University of Münster, so we only have one Moodle instance. But, well, what we have with that instance is that we wanted to delete courses. I don't know how many of... Oh, actually, that's a good opening question. How many of you do delete courses automatically in some way? Yes. So, some are shaking like semi-automatically. So actually, we did not have a process for that at all in the start. And there's not like an event trigger which would say, this course is no longer needed. But there are a lot of teachers who still want to use their course or want to keep their grades or something. So in general, we just started having more courses and more courses for each year since 2007. And at some point, this was not working for us anymore. So our main motivation was that we got server warnings, which were, yeah, you're going up and you do not have space anymore. So we were getting this like on a weekly basis, and we were thinking about how to get more space. And the people who are giving us the servers, who are also from our university, started getting angry because we always asked for more space, and they knew we could not really do anything against it. Because I don't know how many of you have some sort of integration, but we have integration for videos, so those are no longer on our platform, and we have integration for big files, but this did not help for our major problem. So we had, as motivational aspect, kind of, okay, if we delete courses, we have more memory space available. We have kind of a cleaner system, so our course search is not the best, I would say. If you're searching for courses, you might find something which is 5 years old just because you typed in a typical word, and of course, this is usually not the course you want to find. And last but not least, what we also hoped for were faster page loading times, because we're getting to a limit where we cannot optimize it any longer, and it's roughly 1 second, so it's okay, but of course users are complaining. So, what did we do? We started programming like something. And this was more a kind of, okay, we wanted to work for our university and And at some point we thought, well, it would be nice to have something which is applicable for other Moodle instances. So it continued and continued, and right now we have a relatively big plugin, but in our opinion, it's worth it. It's on GitHub, it's also in the plugin directory, and it's called Tool Lifecycle. So the whole idea of this tool is that you have custom rules, which you have as workflow, we call it, and due to this, this workflow, you're defining deletes the courses automatically. Of course, since it's deleting content, it's really a sensible thing, so we had to do a lot of security things around it. And of course, also software, we have a documentation on GitHub, so I don't know how many of you are using the GitHub docs, but I think they're really nice. And what I will continue by telling how we did it as an example how this tool can work, and then more general what else you can do with the tool. So you're seeing me at the top, which was like, oh yeah, we can delete everything, that's so nice. And that was not the opinion of our university, because of course you want to keep some courses and the teachers are sensible about it. So actually we agreed on a more complicated workflow than that. I will show it in a minute, but the most common reason were, okay, we have to keep grades. I think in Germany it's for all universities for 5 or 4 years. They could export them, but well, some teachers want to keep it. And another thing was that courses are used as templates, of course, and we wanted to keep some of those courses. So we decided, oh no, that's the wrong one. We decided for this workflow, which we have in the plugin. I will tell you how to do that in a second. So we have something which styles to select which courses are affected, which is called a trigger in this context. And we decided for courses which are older than roughly 4 years, so it's a little bit less. That was due to some other things we are deciding. And the first thing we do is we send an email to the teachers, which is like, hey, here's a list of courses. We think you do not need them any longer. We want to delete them. If you have a problem, if you want to keep the courses, click on that link and mark the course which you want to keep, and we'll keep it. So it was really a user-friendly, maybe not the best one for deleting a lot of courses, but it was the user-friendly way of saying, do not feel like we want to delete your stuff. It's just if you do not need it any longer, we'll do it. And of course, as we think that our teachers are a little bit lazy, they had 2 months in case they're on a vacation or had a stressful time or whatever. And then we sent them a reminder like, hey, we notified you 2 months ago, you have another month left. If you still, please check the list of courses if you want to keep something. And of course, we said we will not make backups. Of course, we did backups, but they don't really need to know. So what we did additionally was making the courses invisible. So if the students do not longer see the course, they might notify the teacher, hey, what's about that course? And the teacher can still react to that and think about if he wants to keep that course. And then after 1 month, we created the backups, which we did not tell anybody, and we just saved them to some other disk memory because they do not need to be, like, you do not need to access them very fast. And yeah, then finally we deleted the courses, so that was really nice for us. And this whole process of having the tool, implementing the workflow, doing test runs, doing the normal run, took quite long, but we think it's worth it. So now we think it's a really good plugin. We are running it, so we really trusted it. And so most of the credits go to Tobias Reichmann. Some of you might know him. He started that in 2017, and we are improving the plugin, but the basis was from him. Whoops, that's wonderful. So a little bit more to the technical part, so you get an idea of how you can adapt for your own regulations. We have 2 types of sub-plugins, which is the triggers, and the triggers define when a course is selected. So at the start of each workflow, you have some kind of selection criteria which must be true for the course, otherwise it will not be deleted. And the most obvious one, which I just mentioned, we have the triggers. I skip that and go back in a second. So the most obviously, which I mentioned, was how old is the course, which we define depending on the start date of the course. But there are different ones. You could apply a course category, so that's what we did for testing, that we said, okay, we're not going to do a big bang with our whole Moodle instance, but we're going to select a category where we know a lot of teachers, so they can notify us how they like the process and if it all works fine. We have a trigger for a specific date, so we only do that in the vacation time, and we do not do that like the whole year. So we have one big batch. The teachers can look through all courses. Especially vacation is nice because they start doing their new courses and really think about what they need and what they don't need. But this list can be enhanced. So if you have some other specific trigger, if you have some kind of system connected which will tell you which courses can be deleted, or if you want to delete all courses for teachers which are gone, you could program yourself a sub-plugin and put it into that plugin. So the slide I just skipped differentiates between triggers, which select the course, and then steps, which is what happens to the courses. So in the workflow I showed you, I think nearly all of the steps which we programmed were inside it. So creating a backup is, of course, one of the major steps. We have the email steps for teachers. We're working on an email steps for students, but we're not too sure if every teacher wants that, so we're not too sure how we're going to do that. Deleting courses is one step, and making the courses invisible. But this is also, if you want to program your own, we have like empty repos which have the interfaces empty, so you can just put in whatever you need as a logic. And there is a little disclaimer, which is, I'm personally not an UX, UI, anything person. Actually, I'm doing my PhD majorly in C and CUDA, so I'm really not good at it. And that's what you see when you install the plugin. Because we started doing it for our own university, and we have our own administration menu and our own design, so everything was initially programmed to fit that design. So if you install it, you might be confused where certain functions are. And we're trying to improve that. That's not the point, but if you install it right now, you might be confused. I'm doing a little demo. I'm just checking. Yeah, that will be fine. But I shortly, that's the overview. I just shortly need to duplicate that screen, otherwise it will take forever. Settings, apply. Yes, I want to keep that change. Perfect. So, I changed to the Boost theme, which I guess most of you are most familiar with. So inside of the site administration, within the plugins, we have a lot of different settings you can have. So that's the confusing part about it, because you do not really know where to start. We have some general settings, which are in case a teacher decided that his course should not be deleted, there's this question of how long should it not be deleted? Should it never be deleted again? So as a default, we say, okay, we do not consider this course for half a year, because usually the circle is half a year until the next course is started, and then we ask him again if that course should be deleted. There is a setting for where you want to put your backups, which does not exist as I'm on my test instance, but this is useful if you have a lot of backups. Of course, you do not want to have them in the usual backup folder, but maybe somewhere else where you have more space. Then we have the workflows. I'm switching to production so you can see real workflows. I think my test instance does not have the good ones. So we have multiple of them running, which you can do. If you have course categories which handle their courses in a different way, you can have multiple workflows. For example, I don't know, the law department of a university maybe has other regulations for their grades than our mathematical campus, and so you might want to have different workflows running. And if you add a workflow, you have to give it a title, and there's a display title, which is, it's all not, as I will not put it into production, it's not that important. It asks you if you want to roll back courses, how long they are not longer considered, and all that stuff. So I'm going a little bit fast so I can still talk the other slides through. And what you can do is that you add your own triggers, which are here. I think they're mainly the triggers I presented to you. Triggers are always connected in an AND logic, so all of them have to apply, not only one of them. And you can add multiple steps. Maybe as an Outlook, we are working on it. This is one of our pull requests, which we didn't look into. So we are aiming for having this a little bit more visual. You can see which courses will be triggered, which steps are taken, but we did not merge that, so that's kind of Outlook. And as I just saw that I have 5 minutes left, I'll switch back to this one, which is because I think it's of major importance that you define your goals before you're installing that plugin, and then use the plugin in the way that you can reach your goals. Because what we did was, of course, we wanted to gain more space, kind of, and we deleted like 40% of our courses, which was great for us because we had this very user-friendly approach where we thought, okay, a lot of teachers will just say, no, do not delete that, do not delete that, do not delete that, and then we will not delete a lot of courses, but that worked out well. However, for our instance, we did not really have an improvement in the file system because old courses, which are quite likely more deleted, they are not that big. They do not have that much files, at least for us. So if you want to improve that, you really have to delete the recent courses. It cannot magically delete, remove space. It was quite good for the backup folder. So we are also doing automatic backups, and that was really going down as all backups which are done automatically for specific courses were deleted. So that was quite an improvement. And especially if you're having problems with the database, this is maybe not what will help you, because the database in Moodle is really growing in the last years as we're having more logs. At least for our instance, we are installing a lot of plugins, and all the plugins are having, again, a lot of entries in their tables. So the database is growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and this was not really the solution, so we have to think about something else. And yeah, but that's maybe, so you can see it has different effects, and you need to think about which kind of effect you need for your instance. Remarks for me, what I kind of learned from having the plugin, it really depends on your workflow, what you're getting out. It is finally release candidate. We are really sure it works. And the communication with the teachers or course instructors or whatever, I'm always trying to be polite, but if they're treating you like you're the file hosting system, you're not. So we have a different system for that. We do not need to keep a Moodle course just for having files. And last but not least, Outlook. We have this notify students thing, which we are thinking about, as students might want to download the whole course. We are thinking about so we have some kind of batch processing, but about more specific ways. So right now it's just you define a maximum size of courses which I processed in one cron job. So your cron job does not get full on stock of courses, but that you might have some more rules you can apply, which are like, okay, on Saturday and Sunday you can delete a lot since no one will use the cron job a lot. But it's not there, it's a feature thing. And what we are also thinking about is deleting users. That's kind of with a question mark, because we are getting SAP, and this might give us the possibility to delete users. So we'll look out if we're deleting also users with this plugin. That would be own workflows. But yeah, that's the plugin. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, you can ask them right now. I think 10 minutes is the time, approximately. Of course, you can also talk to me. I will be here the whole conference, and mail or GitHub, yeah.
Are there any questions? We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule because the previous session ran a little quick.
Thanks for the presentation. It's very interesting. We're looking at deletion and archiving at our university. Just a question on how did you get to 3.75 years in terms of the course
Could
deletion?
you speak up a little bit?
Oh, is that better? Sorry. In terms of the 3.75 years, how did you get to that calculation? Is that something in line with your university policy in terms of course deletion?
Yeah, it's those 4 years, some regulation, how long you have to keep specific documents about the course. And since we had like 3 months until the teacher has to make a decision to keep or delete that course, it was 4 years minus those 3 months.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Hello. I was wondering, when the teachers get the request, do you want to delete this old course? How do they tell the system, I do not want that course to be deleted, and I want that? Do the plugin handle that as well, or is that should they unhide it, or how do that work? How does that work when
So
the teachers don't want a course to be deleted?
I think I didn't get the point. So you want to delete additional courses, or?
Yes.
So basically you receive an email, it has a link, and you click on the link, and then you can go back to the plugin.
Yeah. It's a Moodle page, and you have your list of courses as a table, and you can say, don't delete, and delete for every course.
Did everybody catch that question? I don't know if you need to repeat it in case anybody missed it.
If you have more time, there are a lot of features in that plugin which I did not have time to present. It's like manual workflows, so if you want to, you can define workflows which are triggered by the teacher. So the teacher can say, okay, for this course, I want to start the deletion process. And yeah, I feel like I'm forgetting stuff. But we really try to improve it in a way that also if you're installing, you have less problems. So we have an error handling page, which actually, it checks your cron job for errors which might occur, which, I don't know if any of you have that, but we have at our instance sometimes problems with the grade table. It's rarely happening, but that you cannot access the grade table. And if courses are broken or anything, they might be not deletable. So this is all then listed in error handling. If you want to, if you deleted a course and the teacher is notifying you that he wants to have this course back, we have a page for where is it? Course backups. So you're getting a list of all courses you ever deleted, which is taken from the folder where you're having the backups, and then you can restore the course with one click. So it is not a long process where you have to go to the server, but you can do it with the UI. And yeah, oh, I forgot one of the steps. One of the steps, if you're testing the plugin, is the admin improve step. So if you have that in your workflow, before a step is happening, you get a notification as, well, every site administrator gets a notification, and you can see all the courses which are affected by that step, and you can say, okay, this is fine, this is the courses which should be, I don't know, deleted, notified, whatever. And I think maybe I have some courses in there. Ah, nice, yeah, quite a lot. So this would be the admin improve that I see, okay, this course is supposed to be notified for the first time, and I can proceed, or I can say, okay, this course should be rolled back, and I can also do like bulk actions, so I do that for all the courses or some of them. Yeah, so we did a quite big plugin. We're working on the UI. Any more questions on that?
Hi, this is
yeah?
hi, this is Sam here. The question is, how do you
Yeah.
sorry, how do you verify the backup is successful before deleting the course?
Again?
how do you verify the backup is successful before deleting the course? Like, do you check the file size?
Well, we're using the usual Moodle core function, so we are relying that this one is working.
Thank you.
Also regarding the course backups, when you specify a folder where the backups are put, you just presented us an overview. Does it generate that overview indexing the folder, or is it just regarding the backups that are written through lifecycle?
Oh yeah, it's going in the backup folder and checking the files there.
That's absolutely awesome, because we can then use it to index automated backups that are not in the Moodle data folder and make those accessible.
I would need to check that, because I'm not sure if we're using the same naming scheme. So we're getting the information out of the name, and we might have used a different name.
Okay, I have a question. This tool seems very well designed and implemented. However, we are more interested that instead of deleting the courses, we implement a similar mechanism to reset them. Is reset one of the available steps, or maybe which could replace deleting it, because deleting the course is an end to this process? So how hard would it be to add this functionality, or to develop our own version which does this?
Reset would just be an additional step. Of course, you would need to implement that, but I guess that this would just be, I mean, you're getting the list of IDs of courses, and I guess Moodle has some kind of core function for resetting. So I would imagine it's a very simple plugin.
Yes, so replace delete course with reset course.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.